The planet Violia glowed under two suns, their twin light bathing the crystalline oceans in shades of gold and sapphire. High cliffs rose sharply from the sparkling water, their surfaces etched with patterns that seemed alive, shifting as though they remembered the passage of centuries. In a secluded valley, hidden from the prying eyes of explorers and traders, the Thalker family lived quietly, far from the politics and greed of the galaxy. Their home was carved into the cliffs themselves, blending with the landscape, a perfect haven for a family that wished to remain unnoticed. Leora Thalker walked along a narrow ledge near the edge of the cliffs, her bare feet brushing against the smooth stone. She inhaled the crisp, sharp air that smelled faintly of salt and something she could not name. Her hair glimmered faintly in the sunlight, a soft silver that betrayed her lineage. She had always known she was different. From a young age, she could sense energy, feel it flowing through the world around her. She could shape it in small ways, making plants grow faster, stirring the wind to carry a gentle whisper, calling light from the stars into the palm of her hand. Her parents, Karin and Solon Thalker, had always warned her to hide her abilities. "The galaxy does not understand our ways," her father had said many times. "They fear what they cannot control. You must be careful, Leora. Your gift is precious, but it is also dangerous." Today, though, Leora could not resist experimenting. She raised her hands toward the horizon, letting the energy from the distant suns pool between her palms. A faint glow shimmered there, bright enough to catch the attention of a passing flock of Viorlian skyfish, which scattered in sudden bursts of color. Leora laughed softly, delighting in the sensation of power and light flowing through her, unrestrained and free. From her vantage point, she saw movement far beyond the valley. A fleet of sleek vessels descended through the atmosphere, their metal hulls reflecting the twin suns in sharp, cold flashes. Leora's heart tightened. Visitors rarely came to Violia, and never uninvited. These ships were not traders or tourists. They moved with purpose, precise and deliberate, as if seeking something or someone. "Leora," her mother's voice called softly from the entrance to their home, calm but firm. "Come inside, now." Leora hesitated. The glow between her hands dimmed as she turned back toward the home carved into the cliffs. Inside, her parents waited, their expressions tense. She could sense the worry radiating from them, heavy and suffocating. "They have found us," her father said without preamble. His voice was steady, but beneath it, Leora detected a hint of fear. "A council agent. They are here for the Starborn crown." Leora's stomach sank. She had heard the stories, legends whispered in the galaxy about a crown capable of amplifying power, granting authority to whoever could wield it. Some said it was merely symbolic, a relic of old magic. Others believed it could shape the destiny of entire worlds. Her family had kept the knowledge of its existence hidden for generations, and now it seemed the galaxy had come to demand it. "Why here?" Leora asked, her voice trembling slightly. "We've always been so far from anyone else." "Because it senses power," Solon explained. "And you, Leora, you have that power. Your abilities have called it to this place." Her mother, Karin, placed a hand on Leora's shoulder, steadying her. "We have a choice," she said. "We can hide as we always have, or we can face them, but hiding will no longer keep us safe. The galaxy will not forget your gift." Leora looked back at the approaching ships. They were moving closer, scanning the cliffs and valleys. She felt the energy within her stir, responding to their presence as if it recognized danger. Her curiosity warred with her fear. She wanted to explore the stars, to meet the worlds beyond Violia, but the cost of that curiosity could be enormous. The first ship landed in a nearby clearing, the landing thrusters sending clouds of sparkling dust into the air. Figures emerged, clad in sleek metallic suits with insignias she did not recognize. At their forefront stood a tall human, calm and imposing, his eyes sharp as he surveyed the valley. This was the council agent her father had warned about. Solon stepped forward to meet them, his posture straight and unwavering, though Leora noticed the tension in his hands. Karin stayed close to Leora, guiding her toward the safety of the inner chambers. "I am Agent Kale," the human said, his voice even and precise. "We seek the Starborn crown. We believe it lies here on your planet." Karin's expression hardened. "There is no crown here. You will find nothing of value." Kale's eyes shifted to Leora, and the air seemed to thrum with recognition. "I do not believe that. I see its presence." "And I see her." His gaze lingered on Leora, noting the faint glow of energy around her hands, the subtle shimmer in her hair. Leora felt a rush of fear and excitement. She knew that revealing her powers could be dangerous. Yet the thought of hiding forever, denying her own abilities, filled her with frustration and longing. "Leora," her father said quietly, "do not show them anything." But before she could obey, the energy within her surged. A small wave of light burst from her hands, scattering the nearby rocks and sending a shock of brilliance across the clearing. The humans froze, their expressions a mix of awe and alarm. Kale's eyes widened slightly, and he took a careful step back. "It is as I suspected," he murmured. "The crown's presence, it resonates with her." The valley seemed to hold its breath. Leora's mother gripped her hand, silently urging control, while her father's jaw tightened in determination. The family realized that their choices in the coming moments would shape not only their fate, but the fate of countless civilizations across the galaxy. Kale extended a hand, a gesture both diplomatic and commanding. "We can help you," he said. "With your cooperation, no harm will come to your family. The galaxy needs guidance, and you have the potential to provide it." Leora hesitated, her mind racing. Could she trust him? Could anyone in the galaxy truly be trusted? Her instincts screamed caution, but a flicker of hope stirred within her. Perhaps she could use this opportunity to see the stars, to understand her powers, and to make a difference beyond Violia. Her father shook his head. "We cannot trust outsiders," he said firmly. "We have lived in peace because we remained hidden. The galaxy's greed is vast. Power like hers, power like the crown, it brings danger to all it touches." Leora looked down at her hands, feeling the energy swirl softly around her fingertips. She realized that her power was more than just a gift, it was a responsibility. How she chose to use it could protect or destroy, free or enslave. The council agent took another step forward, his voice calm but insistent. "The galaxy is at a crossroads. Wars are brewing, systems are falling under oppression. The crown can tip the balance. With your guidance and her abilities, peace is possible, or chaos will reign." A sudden alarm echoed from the fleet above. Leora looked up to see additional ships descending, faster this time, with clear intent to capture or destroy. The family had no time to debate further. "Leora," her mother said urgently, "you must decide now." For the first time, Leora felt the weight of her destiny pressing down on her. She could flee, hide, and preserve the quiet life she had always known. Or she could step forward, reveal her power fully, and face the galaxy with courage. The choice was hers, and hers alone. She lifted her hands again, drawing energy from the suns, from the land, from the very stars above. The glow intensified, spreading outward in brilliant arcs of light, shimmering across the cliffs and oceans. The humans shielded their eyes, and even the approaching ships faltered, sensing the magnitude of what they were witnessing. Leora felt a surge of exhilaration. She was no longer just a girl on a hidden planet. She was a beacon, a force that could shape the fate of worlds. And though fear lingered at the edges of her mind, it was matched by a profound sense of purpose. Her father and mother joined her, linking hands, grounding her energy, guiding it safely. Together, the family formed a circle, a protective bond of love and strength. Kale watched, realizing that the Starborn crown was more than a relic. It was a symbol, a catalyst that resonated with the choices of those who bore responsibility. As the fleet hovered above, uncertain of their next move, Leora felt something stirring deep within her, a connection not just to the crown, but to the galaxy itself. She glimpsed the possibilities, worlds freed from oppression, alliances formed across species, and the power to make choices that could echo across time and space. The moment stretched, charged with tension and potential. The Thalker family had been hidden for generations, but the galaxy had found them. And in that instant, they understood that the quiet life they had known was over. Leora's eyes shone with determination. She would face whatever came next, guided by her family's wisdom and the knowledge that power was not merely about control, but about choice. Magic or freedom, the decision was coming, and it would define not only her family's fate, but the destiny of the entire galaxy. As the suns dipped lower toward the horizon, painting the valley in shades of amber and violet, Leora took a deep breath and stepped forward. The energy of the universe coursed through her, a river of light and possibility. Whatever awaited them, she knew this. The Starborn crown's story and hers was only just beginning. And far above, the ships hesitated, the galaxy holding its breath, watching as one alien family's fate began to unfold. The Thalker family left the cliffs of Violia behind, boarding a sleek exploration vessel hidden deep within the crystalline caves. Leora's heart pounded as she stepped onto the smooth metal deck. The ship hummed softly, alive with a quiet energy that mirrored the currents she could feel within herself. For the first time, she saw the galaxy not as distant points of light, but as vast stretches of space, alive with possibility and danger. Her father, Solon, took the controls with practiced precision. He had always been a skilled pilot, though he had flown only in secret, to explore hidden corners of their planet. Today, though, he guided the vessel into orbit above Virlia, knowing that their hidden home was no longer safe. Karin, her mother, remained close to Leora, holding her hand and offering calm reassurance as the stars stretched out before them. The humans' ships had not pursued them immediately, but Leora knew it was only a matter of time. She could feel the tension in the energy surrounding her, the subtle ripples that foretold approach and conflict. Kale, the council agent, had remained distant during the family's departure, but his presence was a reminder that the galaxy beyond their cliffs was watching, waiting. As they moved through the atmosphere, Leora's curiosity began to rise. She had only glimpsed other worlds in stories her parents had told. Now she could see them firsthand, planets with swirling storms of blue and gold, cities that glittered like constellations, and ships weaving through the void as though the stars themselves had given them purpose. Each glimpse filled her with awe and longing. She wanted to understand it all, to know every star and system, yet a shadow of fear lingered. Every new world carried unknown dangers. Her father spoke first, his voice steady despite the tension. "We cannot trust anyone completely. The humans may offer guidance, but their motives are not always pure. They seek the crown, yes, but they also seek control. We must be careful." Leora nodded, though she felt a pull toward the unknown. Her abilities had already revealed her to the galaxy, and she could not hide forever. Still, the thought of facing fleets and councils, of wielding power far beyond her understanding, made her heart race. For several hours, the ship traveled in silence, navigating through asteroid fields and cosmic currents. Leora leaned against a railing near the observation deck, watching the stars slide past in streaks of light. She could feel the energy of each celestial body, a subtle resonance that spoke to her in whispers. The universe felt alive, connected to her in ways she could not yet fully grasp. Suddenly, an alert flashed across the navigation console. Solon's fingers danced across the controls as he studied the display. "Multiple ships approaching," he said. "Not council, not friendly. A rogue fleet likely sent to seize the crown by force." Panic surged through Leora for a moment, but her mother's steady grip calmed her. Karin placed a hand on her shoulder. "Remember your control, Leora. Your power can protect us, but it must be guided by reason, not fear." The fleet appeared on the sensors, sleek black vessels bristling with weaponry. Their intentions were clear. They would stop at nothing to capture the family and take the crown. Solon maneuvered the ship with skill, weaving through the debris of a nearby asteroid field, trying to gain an advantage. Leora took a deep breath. She raised her hands, feeling the familiar flow of stellar energy. She had practiced small bursts, carefully shaping light and heat, but this was different. These ships threatened her family, and the galaxy might be watching her choice. A surge of determination coursed through her. She could not remain passive. With a concentration that felt both terrifying and exhilarating, Leora released a controlled pulse of energy. Light streamed outward in a brilliant arc, striking the rogue vessels. The shields of the attackers flared, faltering under the sudden force. Leora felt the energy ripple through her body, a connection between herself and the universe that made her pulse faster, her senses sharper. The fleet recoiled, but they were persistent. The ship shook as lasers and projectiles struck, and alarms blared. Solon shouted orders, expertly piloting through the chaos, while Karin guided Leora in maintaining control over the energy she released. Every burst of power sent waves through the ship, reshaping the environment and demanding focus and precision. Leora realized something vital. Her ability was not merely a weapon. It was a form of communication, a bridge between herself and the forces around her. She could sense the intent of the attackers, feel the tension and fear within them, and guide her energy in response. It was as though the universe itself was lending her strength, waiting for her to make the right choice. As the battle continued, another presence made itself known. A small shuttle detached from the rogue fleet, piloted by a figure that radiated calm authority. Kale's voice came through the comm system. Leora, control your energy. Focus not on destruction, but on defense. Protect your family, protect the innocent. The Crown's power is amplified by choice, not force. Leora nodded, understanding instinctively. She shifted the energy around her hands, forming a protective shield that rippled outward, deflecting the projectiles and scattering debris. The rogue ship struggled to penetrate the barrier, and for a moment, the tide of battle slowed. The family worked together seamlessly. Solon piloted, Karen maintained their internal systems, and Leora wielded her energy with precision. The rogue fleet hesitated, uncertain of the true magnitude of the power they faced. Leora's confidence grew as she realized the scope of her abilities, not for conquest, but for protection. Hours seemed to stretch as the chase continued through the stars. Leora explored the limits of her powers, shaping light into barriers, deflecting attacks, and guiding their path through dense asteroid fields. The ship's sensors registered her actions, mapping them, studying them. She could feel the attention of distant civilizations, sensing their curiosity and fear. Her choices were already sending ripples across the galaxy. During a brief lull in the pursuit, the family gathered in the central chamber of the ship. Leora sank onto a bench, exhausted but exhilarated. Her mother knelt beside her. "You are learning quickly," she said softly. "But remember, your strength lies not in the energy you command, but in the choices you make." Her father added, "The galaxy will test you in ways we cannot predict. We have kept you hidden, but now you must face it. Your actions will shape not just your family's fate, but the fate of countless worlds. That is the weight you carry." Leora's mind swirled with the enormity of it all. She wanted to explore, to learn, to see the galaxy in all its wonder. Yet the threat of the rogue fleet, the knowledge of the Crown, and the responsibility she felt pressed heavily on her shoulders. She realized that freedom was not simply the absence of control. It was the presence of choice, of courage, of purpose. As the ship approached a distant nebula, shimmering with colors that defied description, a new set of signals appeared on the sensors. Leora studied them with curiosity. Small vessels, unlike anything she had seen, were emerging from the nebula. Their technology was different, elegant, and advanced, yet their intentions seemed uncertain. "Unknown ships," Solon muttered, adjusting the controls. "We need to proceed with caution." Leora felt a connection to the new vessels, a faint resonance that hinted at potential allies or formidable foes. She could sense energy patterns, faint pulses that suggested intelligence and awareness. It was as if the universe was testing her again, offering guidance, choices, and consequences all at once. The new ships approached cautiously, scanning the Thalker vessel. Leora raised her hands again, sending a subtle pulse of energy outward, not aggressive but a signal of openness. The ships responded with a matching pulse, a silent acknowledgement. The family held their breath. A small craft detached and moved closer, revealing figures of an alien species unfamiliar to Leora. Their forms were slender, with luminescent markings along their limbs, and their eyes reflected the nebula's colors. The lead figure extended a gesture of peace, and Leora felt a surge of understanding. These beings recognized her choice, her willingness to protect rather than dominate. Kale's voice echoed through the comms again. "You see, Leora, power is not taken, it is shaped by intention. The Crown's true legacy is in those who choose wisely. You are learning faster than any could predict." Leora felt pride mingled with humility. She was still young, inexperienced, but the vastness of the galaxy had opened before her. She could influence events, inspire hope, and protect freedom across worlds. Yet she knew the danger was far from over. The rogue fleet would not give up easily, and the attention of councils, factions, and civilizations meant that her choices would always be scrutinized. As the family navigated the nebula, Leora took a moment to connect with the energy around her. She felt the nebula's storms, the distant pulses of stars, the faint echoes of civilizations far beyond. Each element responded to her presence, to the clarity of her intent. She realized that her power was not only a shield or a weapon, it was a language, a bridge between the universe and the beings who inhabited it. The alien vessels matched their pace, keeping a respectful distance but showing curiosity. Leora experimented cautiously, sending small waves of light and energy, testing responses, building trust. The aliens responded in kind, subtle, but unmistakable. A dialogue unfolded, unspoken but deeply understood, reinforcing the idea that freedom and understanding could flourish even across species and systems. Hours later, the rogue fleet, frustrated and uncertain, fell back temporarily. The Thalker family had earned a momentary reprieve, enough to chart a course toward a distant star system rumored to contain the celestial nexus, the resting place of the Starborn crown. Leora sat in the observation chamber, gazing at the swirling colors of the nebula, reflecting on the day's events. She realized that her journey was only beginning. The galaxy was vast, filled with wonders and threats, and the choices she made would echo across space and time. But for the first time, she felt ready. She understood that true power was not in dominating others or claiming a crown, but in protecting life, nurturing freedom, and standing with courage when the universe tested her resolve. As the ship moved steadily toward the celestial nexus, Leora placed her hands together, feeling the energy flow through her body, through the ship, through the stars themselves. She knew that tomorrow would bring new challenges, new enemies, and new allies. Yet she also knew that the path she chose would shape the galaxy, not because of magic or crowns, but because of courage, wisdom, and the enduring power of choice. The stars stretched endlessly before them, bright, distant, and alive. And in that expanse, Leora felt the first stirrings of destiny, guiding her toward the challenges and triumphs that awaited. The story of the Starborn crown and the Thalker family was far from over. It had only just begun. The celestial nexus appeared on the horizon, a vast expanse of swirling light and floating crystalline spires. From a distance, it looked like a dream, impossible and fragile, yet the sensors confirmed its reality. Leora's heart raced as the Thalker family approached. This was the place where the Starborn crown had rested for millennia, untouched by rulers, warriors, or thieves. Now, the fate of the galaxy would hinge upon their choices. Solon adjusted the ship's course, guiding it through the twisting currents of energy that surrounded the nexus. Each movement required precision. A wrong calculation could send the vessel crashing into the spires, shattering the fragile balance of this sacred place. Karin remained close to Leora, offering reassurance while keeping a watchful eye on the instruments. "You can feel it, don't you?" Karin whispered, as though sharing a secret with her daughter. "The crown's energy, it resonates with you." Leora nodded, sensing the familiar hum of power deep within her. It was stronger here than anywhere else she had been, almost overwhelming in its intensity. The crown was not merely an object, it was a force, responding to the intentions and heart of those who approached. She felt the weight of responsibility pressing down on her, heavier than any physical burden she had known. Kale's voice came through the comms, calm yet urgent. "You are close. The crown's energy is strongest here, but be careful. Many will come seeking it. Not all intend well." Leora swallowed hard. She had already faced the rogue fleet, navigated the nebula, and communicated with alien species who tested her abilities. But this place was different. The Nexus was alive, almost sentient. She could feel the hum of countless civilizations, echoes of those who had come before, warnings and guidance intertwined. The ship entered a large clearing between the crystalline spires, a space that seemed to suspend time. Leora's energy reacted immediately, resonating with the environment. Light arced between the spires, forming patterns that were both beautiful and dangerous. The Thalker family had to tread carefully. Solon guided the ship gently to the ground, avoiding the floating shards of crystal that shifted unpredictably. No sooner had they landed than alarms blared across the ship. The rogue fleet had tracked them here, their black vessels emerging from hyperspace with frightening precision. Leora's pulse quickened. The battle was not over. It was about to escalate to a scale she had never faced before. "Stay calm," her father said. "Control your energy. Protect the ship first. We will find a way to confront them without destroying ourselves or the Nexus." Leora took a deep breath, focusing on the flow of energy within her. The Nexus seemed to pulse in response, almost as if it were aware of her intentions. She raised her hands and sent out a wave of light, a shield that extended beyond the ship, surrounding the landing area in a protective dome. The rogue fleet's first strike hit the barrier and dissipated, unable to penetrate the combined energy of Leora and the Nexus itself. The family watched as the fleet hesitated, uncertain of the resistance. Kale's voice guided them again. "Remember, the crown's power is influenced by choice. You can defend, you can attack, but your actions here will define your legacy. Choose wisely." Leora nodded, understanding that this was not merely a battle of strength, but of wisdom and morality. She could sense the aggressor's intent, greed, fear, and ambition, and she realized that responding with destructive force alone would only escalate conflict. Instead, she focused on control, channeling her energy to deflect attacks, protect her family, and preserve the integrity of the Nexus. The rogue fleet regrouped, coordinating a more strategic assault. Leora felt the tension rise, the energy around her responding in kind. Her hands glowed brighter, the light flowing through her body and out into the environment. Every movement required precision, every thought influenced the outcome. She had never felt such a connection to the universe before, and it both exhilarated and terrified her. Suddenly, a pulse of energy unlike any she had encountered surged from the depths of the Nexus itself. Leora's eyes widened as she recognized the force. The Starborn crown was awakening, responding to her presence and intent. It was no longer dormant. The light intensified, arcs of energy leaping toward her as if testing her resolve. Her mother grasped her arm gently. "Do you feel it? The crown chooses not by force, but by the purity of heart. It will respond to your intentions." Leora focused, letting the energy flow freely yet guided by her moral compass. She felt the crown's power intertwine with her own, a resonance that amplified her understanding. She saw visions of the galaxy, worlds under oppression, systems in chaos, species living in fear. And she realized that the crown's potential was immense, but only if wielded wisely. The rogue fleet launched their attack again, this time coordinating strikes to overwhelm the shield. Leora's eyes glowed with determination. She could not allow the crown to fall into the hands of those who sought power for domination. Channeling the Nexus's energy, she formed a barrier that extended beyond the landing area, creating a safe zone for her family while repelling the attackers. Solon piloted the ship with precision, weaving through the attacks while providing strategic support. Karin maintained internal systems, ensuring that the vessel remained operational. Together, the family operated as a single unit, their coordination a reflection of trust, love, and shared purpose. Leora took a deep breath, feeling the crown's energy coursing through her once more. She realized that she could do more than defend. She could influence the hearts of those who sought the crown. Focusing her intention on peace, she projected waves of energy that resonated with the aggressors' minds, showing them glimpses of the consequences of their actions. Fear, greed, and anger wavered as the rogue fleet experienced visions of destruction, oppression, and loss. One by one, ships faltered, their pilots hesitating, unsure of their next move. Leora continued to guide the energy, shaping it with care and precision. She understood that true power was not in domination, but in enlightenment and protection. The rogue fleet, unable to withstand the combined force of choice, intention, and energy, retreated temporarily, giving the Thalker family a momentary reprieve. Kale's voice came through the comms, filled with quiet admiration. "You have done what few could. You have wielded the crown's resonance with wisdom and restraint. The galaxy will remember this." Leora allowed herself a brief moment of relief, but she knew the challenge was far from over. The crown's power was immense, and there would be others who sought it for selfish purposes. Her journey was only beginning, and the choices she made now would shape not just her family's fate, but the destiny of the galaxy. The family disembarked from the ship, moving cautiously toward the heart of the Nexus. The crystalline spires shimmered with energy, forming pathways that led toward a central chamber. Leora could sense the crown's presence growing stronger with each step. The energy hummed in harmony with her own, a subtle guidance that seemed to anticipate her movements. As they entered the central chamber, the Starborn crown rested upon a pedestal of crystal, glowing with an inner light that seemed alive. Leora approached slowly, her heart pounding. She felt the crown's power reaching out to her, testing her resolve, her intentions, and her heart. Her parents stayed close, their hands on her shoulders, grounding her in the moment. Kale observed from a distance, silent but attentive. Leora extended a hand, and as she touched the crown, a surge of energy flowed through her, connecting her consciousness with the Nexus, the crown, and the galaxy itself. Visions unfolded before her eyes, worlds in turmoil, civilizations rising and falling, choices that shaped destinies. She saw the impact of selfish ambition, the consequences of fear, and the power of courage, love, and freedom. She realized that the crown's true purpose was not to grant dominion, but to amplify the moral choices of those who wielded it. Leora's mind focused on one truth. Power must serve freedom, not control. Wisdom must guide strength. Compassion must direct action. She raised the crown, feeling the energy respond to her intentions. Light expanded outward, washing over the chamber and extending beyond the nexus, reaching distant worlds. The galaxy itself seemed to pause, acknowledging her choice, her heart, and her resolve. The rogue fleet returned for a final assault, desperate to claim the crown. Leora stood firm, her energy harmonized with the nexus. The ships hesitated as they sensed the combined force of the Thalker family's intention and the crown's power. Leora projected a wave of energy, not to destroy, but to protect and enlighten. The fleet faltered, their leaders sensing the futility of aggression. One by one, they withdrew, leaving the nexus untouched. The Thalker family stood together, exhausted but triumphant. The crown glowed gently in Leora's hands, no longer just a symbol of power, but a beacon of freedom. Kale approached, nodding with respect. The galaxy will change because of your choice. You have shown that true strength comes from wisdom, courage, and the protection of life. Leora smiled, feeling a sense of purpose she had never known. The galaxy was vast, filled with dangers and wonders, but she understood her role. She would guide, protect, and inspire not through domination, but through freedom and choice. The family left the Nexus, their vessel carrying them into the stars. Leora gazed out at the endless expanse, the light of distant worlds reflecting in her eyes. She knew that challenges would come, that the crown's power would always draw attention, but she also knew that the galaxy could change for the better, one choice at a time. Together, the Thalker family moved forward, united by love, courage, and the knowledge that freedom was the greatest power of all. And as the stars stretched endlessly before them, Leora felt the weight of destiny and the light of hope intertwined, guiding her toward the future she was destined to shape.